what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. It's your boy Jay. I'm here to say that I got into the story time today. Now, if you hear people in the background or stuff like that, it's because I'm actually not at my usual setup. I won't be there for a week, but I'll still try to upload as much as possible. So, today's story time is about the time where things happened at a party, and yeah. So the story time takes place back when I was 13, and when I was 13, I used to go to like a lot of parties. Used to just hang out with people a whole lot because at that time, I don't know, I just always had people around me and probably had the most friends at that time. So I had this friend, we'll call her Sheila. So Sheila basically called me one day and she was like, "Hey, there's a party on my street. Would you like to go?" And this was kind of weird for me because Sheila like barely talked to me. And when I say barely talked to me, I mean like I'm pretty sure we only had like one conversation. We didn't even go to the same school. So like it was just like kind of weird, but I was like, "You know what? Fine. I'll go to this party." So she says, "All right, meet like, come to the party at 7." So I'm like, "All right." So, you know, fast forward, 7 comes, I got ready and everything, and I got to this party. So when I got to the party, I was like, "Yo, like, where's she at?" Because she actually didn't show up when I showed up. She showed up about 10 minutes later. She was like, "Oh, sorry, blah blah blah." Like, I forgot what excuse she made, but she made some type of excuse, and I was just like, okay. And yeah, so we get in the party, everything's lit, we're vibing, we're talking and stuff like that. And we noticed that like this at this party, it was a lot of people who were older than us. Now, not too much older. It was more so like people who were like 16 to 18, and we were like 13, 14. I think she was 14 at the time. So yeah, so we're chilling and we're vibing. And, eventually, because we're like the only two people that like each other know, it was kind of like, we kind of bonded a little bit. And you know she Selena was dabbling in magic. So eventually she started to get a little woozy, and she was like, kind of like falling around and stuff. And I was like, "All right, like, you sure you still want to, be at this party?" And she was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 I'm cool, but we might have to go to one of the rooms." So that's what we did. I wound up like walking her upstairs to like one of the rooms, and at this party, I don't know why, because usually at house parties they like close off the upstairs, but they actually didn't close off the upstairs. So we go into a random room, and we're just sitting there. She's kind of just laying there because she said that she had a headache. So we're kind of just sitting there, and she was like, "Jay," and I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Have you ever like thought about me before?" And I'm like, "Thought about you how?" Like, because in the back of my head, I'm still thinking like, this is like our second actual conversation. Like, this is our first time really hanging out with each other. Every other time I've seen you, it's been with other people. So she was like, "Well, because I've been thinking about you," and I'm like, "Okay, that's nice, but like, that doesn't mean that." Like, mind you, I'm saying all of this in my head. Like, I'm not actually saying this to her. I'm not that mean, but yeah. So she basically, she's like, "Well, I've been thinking about you lately," and she starts getting into that kind of conversation where we kind of cross the line from being friends to something else. So we're sitting there, and eventually I was like, I'm tired of sitting up because my back started to hurt. So I like, laid down, and one thing led to another. And let's just say that night ended with a lot of things going down. So yeah, that's the story time for today. If you guys enjoyed that story time, make sure you smash the like button, turn on post notifications, and subscribe. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.